All right, today on the Reaper Paranormal Show, we have an interview today. We are interviewing RPI member Shae. So stay tuned for that. So, welcome to episode 2. I'm your host, Roy, and I'm joined by my co host, Tommy. What's going on, Tom?
Nothing. What's going on, Roy? How you doing today?
Living the dream.
Oh yeah.
All right, as we have Shannon here. What's going on, Shannon?
Nothing much. How are you?
Good. I was on vacation last week, which was nice. No, I'm back to work next week. Well,
You going to
tomorrow.
work?
Holy shit.
I'm off tomorrow.
You suck. We you probably don't know, Shay. We Tom and I work at volunteer for Rhode Island Comic Con, and this would be the weekend that we'd be down there, and so Tom took Monday off. The bastard.
I forgot. We like do our vacation bidding in February, and it was like then 2020 happened, and it was just like. Luckily, I looked at the work calendar, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm off. I don't want to show up on a day that I'm not supposed to."
Nope.
Yeah, well, I have to go to work tomorrow. I don't want to go to work tomorrow, but I have to.
Yeah.
Right. So this show's about you, Shay. So tell us about yourself. How'd you get into the paranormal? Tell about your life. Whatever you want to tell us.
That's not awkward at all.
Not awkward at all.
I've been interested in the paranormal as long as I can remember. I've always just kind of wanted to enlighten other people, I guess, or show people what I feel or whatever. But I just always like the possible proof aspect of it.
Nice.
Very cool.
So how many years have you been in the paranormal?
Like on a team, or like have I?
Whatever you want to tell us. On a team, individual. I know you did your brother-in-law for a while. Your ex-brother-in-law for a while.
Yeah, I did. Before I met you, I actually was on another team very briefly. I'd say I've probably been doing this on a team for 10 years.
Nice.
11 years around there. Yeah.
She moved to Seattle, you know.
I do.
She's been talking about it. She moved to Seattle.
Oh, she did?
She did, yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we stayed in contact a little bit. Not a whole lot. She asked us to do a case at that cemetery in Rehoboth with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was interesting. Graham was there. You know Graham.
I love Graham, yeah.
Yeah. You know, Graham was being Graham, and it was interesting. But yeah, she her and her husband split up, and she ended up moving to Seattle. That's where she lives now. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening with her team now because obviously she's not here. But
she's not on the Cranberry Coast anymore, so I guess can't really call it that.
No. So, but yeah, she's gone. You want to start the questions off, Tommy?
Sure. So, from talking to Roy, he, briefly kind of explained that you're a sensitive. And I was hoping that you could maybe sort of briefly explain what a sensitive is to people that might not know.
All right. Well, so this isn't obviously something that most people, I shouldn't say most people, but a lot of people have a very hard time believing in the things that like I feel like I'm sensitive to. But for as long as I can remember, I have always kind of known when there were people around. I can usually pick out names. I can usually give like really key details that I feel like when you see on like some of the medium shows, like they really are very general. They're like, there's an S name here somewhere. I can usually get it right down to the.
All right, guys. You're not going to believe this. Guess one thing I did not do before we started this.
Oh my gosh, what?
Take a guess.
Record.
Take a guess, Tom.
Record.
I hit record on the video. Didn't hit record on the audio. it's funny. I watch another podcast real quick, and then we'll start over or whatever. And on the podcast, he does it sometimes, and it happens to a lot of podcasts. They just don't hit record. I'm like, oh, I'll never do that. That'll never be me. First episode, I'm using a recorder.
Overachiever, you got it.
Standing ovation for me. So what we'll do is we'll just start from the top. I'll introduce Shae again. Sorry about this, Shae. And then we'll just go right into the questions. All right. And I can edit this all later, so it's not a big deal for the audio. Assuming the audio even comes out. All right. So I'm pressing record now. Maybe. All right. All right, so everybody, this is Shae.
Hi.
So, Shae, for the audio, tell everybody a little bit about yourself real quick.
I'm 37. I've been doing paranormal investigations on teams for 10 or 11 years, maybe. I want to hopefully enlighten people or help find proof for people who can't see things to know things are out there.
Nice.
Sorry.
Yep, that was good. It's good. Like I said, I will edit this. It'll be fine. So, Tom, you asked the question already. We'll just skip that question. And Tom asked another question. I'll ask the question after that.
You want a different question?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
or do you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, do you feel that being a sensitive has really helped you in being a paranormal investigator?
I've actually kind of had to go both ways. My first paranormal team actually kicked me off because they discovered that I was sensitive, and I didn't tell them initially because it's not really something I'm like, hey, because you get a lot of weird looks. But we were on an investigation, and I pointed something out during the investigation that I saw, and the guy at the place that we were at was like, oh my gosh, no one's ever seen that. You're right. This is what happened. And he kind of went through it. And then I was kind of disbanded. So it can go bad. But it can go good too, because it gives me maybe an edge to help people get a little peace and maybe a little less fear in things that if they can't see them or hear them could be pretty scary.
Very cool. Very cool. So you previously briefly explained what a sensitive was. And you said in that explanation, you had said, as long as you can remember. So you've known this from a very early age. Do you approximately know what age you first realized it?
So the first time I think I realized it, I was, I'd say like 6 or 7. We were at my grandmother's house for a family party. And I spent the entire day, the whole time playing with this little girl, blonde hair, little white dress. And I remember her. I'm telling you right now, I can think about it and I can hear her and I can still see her. And I remember the next time we went over to my grandma's house, I'm like, oh, where's, and I honestly can't remember her name now, but I asked where she was and I described her and no one knew who I was talking about, but this little girl was in the house. With me hanging out, they reached out and they asked like my aunt, like, oh, do you have any idea what she's talking about? Did someone else come in? And there was no one else. I was playing with a little girl that no one else could see. But that's when I realized, oh, that might be a little different.
That is creepy. That is super. So, just to follow up, did it scare you afterwards, like when you kind of found out, or?
Well, so. No, because maybe initially I don't really remember initially it scaring me, but it may have.
Yeah.
But even at a young age, like things really kind of started to click, and I started thinking back to my maternal grandmother's house, and she used to have an attic that I used to be really, really intrigued by. I used to want to go in, so I used to like open the door and like peek up. And the guy that was up there, the guy that used to be up there sometimes would go, "No, get down, get out of here. You can't be up there." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I just felt like it was dangerous. There was no guy up there.
Oh.
I described this guy to my grandmother, and and she was, you know, really. I described him down to his suspenders, and he had on like grayish like work pants looking things. I could describe him really well. He had like a funny comb over that went up like this a little bit on the side.
Oh, nice.
And so she pulled out a picture, and it was her father.
Wow, that is really cool. And one just final follow up on that question. So, wow, that one that just gave me chills. So, at what age did you really sort of understand that you were a sensitive? Was it right away at 7, 8? Because that seems awfully young to sort of understand the paranormal, or was it later? Or
well, so I knew there was something different that young, but I don't think I really grasped that it wasn't completely normal and everyone else could do it. I assumed most kids could do it. So I would try to talk to other kids about it at school, and that wasn't great because usually they couldn't see the guy standing in the hallway sweeping that wasn't there for them. There was a lot of, it was really kind of confusing. So not right away did I realize how unique that is.
Yeah.
But probably not too long after. You get made fun of enough to kind of like, oh, I'm different.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow.
All right. So, what was your favorite paranormal experience? Do you have a favorite paranormal experience? Anything that you were like, holy bleep, I can't believe that happened? Or
I feel like I have two. I have one on two different ends of the spectrum. One was probably the creepiest thing that I have ever experienced. And another one was really kind of the most like, it got me in the heart a little. The scariest one I was with, you remember Jared, my ex-brother-in-law?
mm-hmm.
We actually went to Rehoboth Village Cemetery, and I think we were going to meet you, and then something happened. So we're like, but can I swear? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you can swear.
Whatever you want.
Where to go mention the haunted cemetery that Abel's going to go to now?
It's so awesome. Honestly, it's a great place, but it's...
we got to bring Tom there sometime.
Yes, for sure. For
sure.
sure.
Love it. Well, so him and I were like, fuck it, we'll just go. And we went, so it was just him and I in his truck, and we pull in, we go to the police station first, and we go in, and we get out, and it just felt so surreal and so weird, and not like it normally does, like when all of us are there. And he was mildly sensitive, not the same way I am, but we could generally kind of work off each other a little. We started seeing like in the horizon, like just darker figures. And I can't explain this at all. I don't know why this was happening. I honestly thought they hedged it. I thought they put hedges all around. I'm like, oh, that's interesting looking. I never noticed that before. And then they started getting closer. So a couple minutes later, we're like, we're going to go home now. We're done. It's a little creepy. So we got back in the truck and left. But that was really, like in my core, I was scared. And I don't generally get scared of paranormal things or anything like that. I'm not scared of cemeteries. And
I remember you telling us that story. Because remember, we tried to recreate it and try to figure out like what it could have been, and we couldn't recreate it at all. Tom, we went back there with them.
Yeah.
A little while later, and you told us the story. And then we're like, well, let's see if we can figure out what it was, or see if it'll happen again. And we try to do it like, you know, could it be something that was man-made, created, Could not make it happen again. There was no way possible that like it could have been like something that was there. It was crazy. It was just like, wow, we couldn't prove it.
I've never seen that before. It was so strange.
Oof, that's awesome. That's creepy.
It was scary. Two grown-ass people running back to the truck like, nope, we're out of here. At the same cemetery, though, a really cool experience was the first time I ever went to the cemetery was with you. And I remember I started getting, because I don't always see things, sometimes I just get names and stuff like that will just pop into my head. I don't really know why, so kind of following. We ended up finding, remember Charles Lake?
Yes.
So that was really cool because this whole time Graham was really like, okay, well, so I follow her, go wherever she goes. And then that all kind of happened, and just kind of the look on his face. I'm sure he's still super skeptical, but just the look on his face for that minute that he was like, "Oh, all right, well, that just happened." That was cool. But as far as like the heartwarming kind of thing, the paranormal thing that I had with you, I can't remember her name. Remember? I think her brother and her sister passed away. I can't remember the names either. It's been a long time. But do you remember? I think her name was Kathy or Cindy. You had me go to her house in Brockton.
Oh, Roxanne.
Yes.
Are you talking about Roxanne? You're close. You're close.
I'm really bad with names. I'm really good with faces,
you
but
and me
not
both,
names.
sister. You and me both.
But that was cool. I don't like making people cry, but I feel like I actually made her feel better. And
she felt so much better after that.
I hated to make her cry, but I feel like I gave her some relief, and that like really kind of makes all the other stuff worth it for me.
That's awesome.
For months after that, she would come over here and be like, "Oh, my brother and sister were there last night visiting again," and da da da. She's like, "Oh, that girl is so amazing." Like she talked about you for months. So yeah, you definitely had a good impact. Yep.
I'm glad.
That's awesome. So to piggyback off of that, then, do you have a least favorite case or person or anything like that?
So yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like I have. I feel like I have. It's gonna sound dumb. I feel like I have like a daily case.
Yeah.
So the way I've always kind of explained it to people, I'm gonna explain it just so it makes a little more sense when I tell you.
Yeah.
So it's almost like imagine you're in Boston, peak season, very busy, and you're scared, and you're trying to get someone's attention, and no one's paying attention to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get anybody to even look at you, and all of a sudden someone looks at you, but you need help. So what are you gonna do? Oh my God, help me! Hey, talk to me. Blah, blah, blah. That's how I feel like I stick out to things that are on the other side, and I feel like I'm that person that looks at them. So I feel like a lot of things will try to get my attention.
Yeah.
But not everyone's very open to talking about it, or even open to believing it, or believing it's possible. And if I know them well enough, or I'm comfortable enough, I can be like, okay, well, listen, it's Greg or Mike or whatever. And I can kind of elaborate on it, but I get a lot of people I don't know that are attached to or with people that I only kind of know. And if they want me to help them, I can't just help them. I can't just walk up and be like, hey, so-and-so says this, or so-and-so feels this. So I feel like daily it's a pretty it's a pretty crappy case when I can't help people, which is almost every day. But
so you're having experiences every single day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Remember.
Oh wow. So that's wow. That seems like it could be
a lot.
Yeah. Like very like it could be hard on the soul sometimes.
It's really tiring. It's I have a pretty good dose of social anxiety already, and that definitely doesn't help when an already crowded area gets a bit more crowded.
Yeah. So I just thought of this now, you're seeing people. So this, for example, like we're doing a face-to-face, would you be able to sense something through like that, us being this far apart, you know what I mean? Not in the same room and stuff, or?
Me personally, no, not usually.
Okay.
Like if I already knew you personally, I could almost kind of hear certain things, like when we're not together, like something like a memory or something like. I honestly don't know how my brain works. I wish I could explain it better. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. But like if I had met you already physically and had some sort of physical interaction with you, I could probably say, hey, this is the case. But I actually usually need to be a bit closer than just this.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I had just thought of it just because this world we live in now with COVID in 2020, that I was like, I wonder, but that's what I kind of figured.
Yeah.
You want to jump in with any questions, Roy?
There was an incident with me. One time she messaged me. I happened to be on Facebook. This is when I was on Facebook quite a bit. And she sent me a message, and she's like, "I got to talk to you for a minute." And I guess one of her relatives was coming through to her, and she started asking me questions. I'm like, "The hell's wrong with her? Like, what is she doing?" So I'm like, "No, yes, maybe." Da, da, da. And come to find out, we think it was my godmother / aunt was
Yo-yo?
coming through to her. Yes, you
Yeah.
remember that on Facebook a few years
Yeah,
ago?
actually, yeah.
Yeah, I told you
I
about
had
that story. It was crazy.
only once, I think, with Loki. Before that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but she knows me really well, though. I mean, we were pretty close. Which we gotta hang out again, by the way. Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
kid.
I know. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
I'm,
Tom, she
I'm
said
really
sorry a lot too, by the way. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I
break
do.
her out of the habit,
I
but
do it all the time too. So
I know
Right.
the both of you. I'm gonna kill the both of you if we all get together, or I'm gonna jump off a cliff.
it's,
Well, I hate people saying sorry to me,
it's
especially
the
when I'm
point
close to
thing.
people. Like you two don't have to say sorry to me because I think we're close. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm one of those people. Like we're close. Don't worry about it. I mean, whatever.
just habit, and because
Yeah.
it's polite thing to do. And I started saying sorry more too, because when I went over to Europe and I was in England, I realized that over there you don't say excuse me because they think you're being sarcastic. Most
Really?
of the time, like, excuse me, it's a lot of type
Oh.
of thing. So you didn't say that. And my buddy had said it a couple times in a bar and he would get dirty looks or, and stuff like that. And then my friend who we were visiting explained that. And that, so right away, I just started saying, he's like, everybody says, sorry. So I just started doing that. And now I just say it all the time now. So a little about me.
So Shae,
Yeah.
as far as New England goes, is there a place here that you want to investigate that you haven't investigated yet?
So bad. So I actually have, I guess, kind of investigated it during the day, but I always want to go at night. And honestly, I'm a gigantic pussy, and I don't know how to get permission. I want to go so bad because I've had so many experiences there during the day. The forts in Hull,
Where?
the Fort Revere.
Oh,
And
I don't know if you can go in there anymore.
I really not even during the day. Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe during the day.
Yeah.
Let's think of another fort around here that is shut down. One of them shut down. I guess you can't go, especially at night. I know you can't go at night.
Yeah. But that's always been like where I wanted to go at night, and I can't. I'm not that I'm gonna sneak in person either. I'm just not.
Well, one thing we need to do for our team, we need to find a good caseworker. That's one thing our team misses is a good caseworker. Because I'm like you, we've called around a few places, but we're like, yeah, you can't talk to us about that. We don't even know.
No,
Tom's mother.
Really pocket.
Yes, that's good with that stuff. Like Tom's mom, she's trying to get us into a few places down in Rhode Island.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to mention what they are, but we can talk off air about it if you want. But yeah, some famously haunted places down there. And we went to them. We did a day, went down to Rhode Island, hung out with Tom, me, and Rick, and his daughter Shelby. And we went to a place, and his mom's going to try to get us in there, but all the COVID, can't do it right now. But
a monastery.
Well, I was hoping not to say that, Tom, but okay.
Oh.
No, it's fine. That's fine.
I mean,
people don't know where it is, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just a general. I mean, that's a general term. It's. But yeah, no. That I'd be really curious. Some of those that one spot we walked to. So yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would be really cool. Maybe next spring we can get into this.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is over soon. This is awful.
God willing.
I can't believe it's been going on as long as it has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well.
So, Shae, do you think we'll ever disprove or prove ghosts really ever exist?
I don't know. I hope. I do every day. I hope that there's something. I'm constantly setting up like little recorders and stuff like that because I know what I can see and hear and feel, but I want everyone else to. I want maybe not to the magnitude, but at least a little bit. It would be. I don't know.
And I don't even care who finds the evidence. I just want somebody to prove that it exists. Because
Yep.
I remember it was a couple of years ago. I'm sitting in a room with Graham. We're at a private house. Yet this time you had backed out of the paranormal for a little while, and we could have used you that night, by the way. But you had backed out of it for a little while.
Sorry.
No, stop it. And we're sitting in a room, just the two of us. And I just turned to him and said, "Can you imagine 10, 15 years from now if they prove ghosts don't exist? We would have sat here for a couple hours for nothing." Now,
I would
mind
be
you,
checked into a hospital.
was that?
I would have to be checked into a hospital immediately.
I thought about that for a second, and I said to him, I said, "But you know what? I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying doing this. So it's not really a loss if it never happened. I believe ghosts exist.
Yeah.
I just want proof for myself they exist.
Yeah.
And we've gotten some crazy evidence on our cases. You know this, and
Yeah.
I just want proof that they're out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
So,
Same.
Toby, you have more good questions for our friend?
Yes, I do actually. But just to jump on that for 1 second. Yeah. So I don't know if Roy explained to you, but it's like I'm very skeptical.
Yeah.
I want to believe. I want it to all be real. Like Roy said, I don't care who proves it real. I want myself to have that experience, so I know for sure, because I listen to people, and for the most part, I believe them, but I'm just skeptical. I just really, because I haven't experienced anything really myself. Something when I was younger, but it's my brain always tries to find logical or science, even if the science isn't logical. My brain tries to figure it out. So, but I really do. So just a little bit about me. But so before I get to my final question, a few other. So you like having this gift?
No, most of the time, no.
No,
Not even a little.
you don't. And most of the time, no.
No, it's pretty shitty.
Oh,
But
wow.
I mean, sometimes it's great. Honestly, the times that it's good. Sorry, give me a second. The times that it's good, it really makes up for it. But sometimes it's more often than not, it's really just more tiring and loud and just exhausting most of the time.
Well, after you told me it's all day, every day, that which I didn't realize, I can definitely see how that would be exhausting. I definitely can. Have you had, or if you have, can you explain, or had you deal with any malevolent entities?
I mean, I feel like I don't really know the answer to that. I guess I don't really. By malevolent, do you necessarily mean like the devil, demonic,
No,
like stuff like
doesn't
that?
have to
Be
be
like pretty bad and evil, right? Like just awful and
yeah, just evil, bad, angry. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep, no, I definitely have. I was called by a friend whose nephew was kind of having some incidences in his room, and she was a little scared because it would occasionally move stuff off of shelves, and the kid was actually getting scared, and she said his room would feel hot. I didn't feel the temperature go up or anything like that. But she said the room would feel hot, and the kid wouldn't act like himself sometimes and stuff like that. So she called and she asked if I would go over and kind of just see what I feel and make sure that the kid was at least okay and stuff like that, and do whatever I could. And then obviously I can reach out to other people too. And I went there, and there was a guy, and when I described him, the relation didn't seem to line up. It didn't sound familiar to the kid's mom or anything like that. But he was just angry, and I feel like a lot of times those cases they're just angry either at that no one can hear them, no one is communicating with them, no one is listening to them, no one is they shouldn't be dead, they shouldn't be this, whatever it is. Whatever that case, but that one was particularly scary because he was saying things that I'm really glad that the kid could not hear, but he was saying a lot of things like, can't wait till you're sleeping, can't wait till your mommy's sleeping, can't wait for, and it was really bad. Ooh. And they don't always, some more often than not, I find that the malevolent ones, like the scary ones, are residual, which is basically just like a broken record playing over and over and over again. This one was not. This one was aware. This one knew I was there, knew the kid was there, knew the kid's mom was there. But I ended up telling her what I found, basically, and I helped her reach out. We eventually found someone who came in and cleansed. I was never called in again, so I don't think they're maintained being an issue. But I opened the dialogue and hopefully lessened some of it for them. They didn't seem to need me to come back out to fix anything or anything like that, or need me to talk to anybody. But they reached out and they had it cleansed, and as far as I know, they still live there. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I love these stories.
Yeah, we can build that show. We're gonna have a lot of stories. You know, we're gonna have a lot of stories to tell.
I really only have one final question. Do you have some more questions you'd like to ask, Roy?
I have two more. I'll ask one more, then you can ask yours, and I'll end with my question. Sound good to you?
All right.
All right. So, other than being a sensitive, I know that's a great tool for you. What would you say is your second best tool in your arsenal?
Oh man. In my arsenal, I would probably say the digital voice recorder, because that's the only way possible that I might be able to get something that other people can hear.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Good. Me? I would say one of my senses, and I'd probably say my hearing. Only because I want to be different. And my first thought was a recorder, because when I thought of these questions, I thought about myself, and I answered them myself. My first thought was an audio recorder for pretty much the same reason that you have said. Then I'm like, what if I didn't have an audio recorder? And I believe, an audio recorder and an EMF meter are the two best things you can have.
Yeah.
But I think for me, being able to listen, one thing I've learned on paranormal investigations is you have to listen, because things happen around you that you don't even really pick up on unless you're really listening, which means me not blabbing my mouth and talking. I love to talk.
Well, you and I were, I think it was one of the times we went out, I think we were at the Carver Cotton Gin Mill. And I think the coolest thing ever was you legitimately turned your stuff off and just followed me. And that was really cool. Like, that made me feel like, okay, cool. He doesn't think I'm like a weirdo or a quack or anything. So it was pretty nice. You just had him follow with the camera and you turned off your EMF stuff. And I think you only ended up turning it back on when I said there's like right in this area here. And then you turned it on and everything. So it was cool. But it was just nice, because I felt like less like a quack, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's a cool thing where, I trust you as much as anybody. And I think sometimes, and I think we've discussed this in the past, we bring all our equipment in these places, and a lot of spirits are from the 1800s or 1700s or 1500s. And our general perception to most of us in our team is like, you see this stuff, it scares the hell out of them. They don't know what it is. So I think sometimes just not having anything and just sitting there, or in your case, following you around where you can sense things, is better, and you can get more evidence. It's more personal evidence at that point. But I'm okay with that too. I don't need to have see what I got. Sometimes I like having a personal experience, and I think you can get that by doing that stuff.
I agree.
So I'll be following you and stalking you some more. Don't worry.
That's okay. I'm cool with that.
All right, Tom.
So I actually lied. I had two more questions, but I'll try to link them together, sort of. But I'll start with, can you just briefly explain to people who might not know the difference between being clairvoyant and being sensitive?
Boy, Tom, you hard hitter over there.
So it's funny, because I actually don't generally title myself, because I feel like titles open up expectations that I'm scared I can't meet. But in my opinion, A sensitive can feel if something's there, might get the goosebumps and feel the temperature fluctuations, or maybe even get I call it a buzzing. I don't know what other people call it, but sometimes you almost hear like a static in the background. And I feel like a lot of people who are sensitive can hear that, and it doesn't happen all the time, but that's, for me at least, that's a sign of something being around. If that heightens in certain circumstances, being a clairvoyant is different as. So again, I know how my head works. I don't know how other heads work or anything like that, but I can't always see everything. Sometimes I can see it. Sometimes I can feel it. Sometimes I can just hear it. Sometimes it's like a thought that I have that I can't quite pinpoint as to why I'm having it. But I think the big difference between a clairvoyant and a sensitive is the awareness of what it is you're actually seeing or hearing or feeling. Being a sensitive would scare the shit out of me. I wouldn't want to just feel it all the time and not see it.
Yeah.
So, I guess in that way, I would much rather be able to do what I can do and see things sometimes, rather than, okay, I know it's here, I can feel it. So I feel like maybe being a sensitive is a bit more scary than being a clairvoyant.
Yeah, it seems that way to me. So very cool. So just for me, finally, is there, and there might not be any, but is there any sort of misconceptions about sensitives or the paranormal or anything that you just like to either give your opinion or clear up, or maybe you don't have anything?
So I feel like, so I don't know if you realize how big this is for me. There's people in my family that don't even know I'm this way. So coming on a podcast and being like, hey, is kind of out of my wheelhouse a little bit. But I'd say a common misconception for me, for the people that do know, is they think I'm a psychic.
Yeah.
They think, well, what's going to happen? I don't know. I have no idea. No clue. How's this going to go? No idea. No clue. So I think a lot of times they think clairvoyancy automatically means psychic, and it does not. That is definitely a big misconception. And the other thing is, of the people that do know, everybody thinks everybody has something or someone, and they don't. I'm not saying, nobody does, because obviously some people do, but it's not like I can't just say, meet you, Tom, and be like, oh, Bob or whoever it is, whatever the name might be. But you're not necessarily going to have someone that's going to try to get my attention, because I don't think I see everything that there is. I think I just see or hear or feel the things that want me to.
That makes sense. That's a perfect explanation. That's my questions for you. So thank you. I know Roy still has a question, but thank you very much for being so candid.
Thank you.
Well, I have the hardest question of the day here. This is going to be a very difficult question. So take your time and answer. All right. Think very hard about this. What's your favorite ice cream?
Vanilla. I know.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that was quick.
No hesitation there.
No hesitation at all. No hesitation at all.
You can do a lot to it. You can do anything you want to vanilla, and
that is true.
Everything's good with it. So vanilla.
All right. Oh, I was hoping to stump her. He'll be like, well, that's kind of weird. Nope. Vanilla. It's like she knew.
I don't look like this from not eating. So trust me, food I can answer like
that's why we get along so well, Shae. All right. Well, thank you, Shae, for joining the show. Don't log off yet, Shae. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the Reaper Paranormal Show. Like I said, we have a paranormal team, the Reaper Paranormal Investigations. If you need help, let us know. You can email us at parareaper01@gmail.com. You can go to our Facebook page, Reaper Paranormal Investigations. And comment below if you need some help. So let us know. We're here to help. And we'll tune in next week. We are going to be interviewing Jason, another member of our team. And I'm surprised our team members are all willing pretty much to be interviewed except for Graham. Every week, I expected to have one interview. We do a couple episodes on some other stuff. It was like, yeah, sure, I'll pop on. I'm like, okay.
Graham won't be interviewed.
He will at some point, I'm sure, but he's like, that's crazy. You know, he's Graham. You know Graham. So for Tom and myself and our guest Shae, thank you for listening. Tune in next week for episode number 3. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks, guys.